everyone for joining us slash watching this recording at a later date. So my name is Gabby Oakman. I am with Laitram, and me and my colleague John are here to talk with you about Laitram and Interlocks, just a company overview, kind of talk a little bit about how we have handled things with COVID and talk about how to be considered for a position with us. So let me advance. So I'm on the talent acquisition team. So I am a recruiter, work a majority with Interlocks, more on the commercial side of the business, but I also oversee our intern program, as well as a few of our apprenticeships and training programs as well. And then John, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. So I am in the new products engineering department. I am a mechanical engineer. I'm also something called a product owner and a business lead, which I'll talk about a bit later. So I wear many hats, but I went to Tulane back in 2014 is when I graduated, and you'll hear more about that later.
Okay, awesome. We just have a quick little video, and this does a really good job of kind of explaining how Laitram started, a little bit of the history, and our different operating divisions as well.
My father, who was a 16-year-old boy working in his father's shrimp canning plant in Houma, Louisiana, and he would walk around stepping on shrimp in his rubber boots. He would look to think about seeing how they'd squeeze out and think about ideas for how he could automate shrimp peeling.
I began to step just to the side of the shrimp with my rubber boots to see if I could not, in fact, squeeze the shell from the meat, and it worked.
They founded the Peelers Company, and that was the beginning of Laitram. And it's just one of those incredible stories about the power of a single idea and how it can really revolutionize not only an industry, but begin all the rest of what we've created here. Well, the divisions ultimately begun from JM's ideas. The shrimp peeler, obviously, and the full line that was developed there. Then the Interlocks belting, based on the need to feed the shrimp peeler. He thought what the world needed was a modular plastic belt, and they founded that company in 1971, and that's turned into our biggest division. And then Lapeyre Stair, where he was watching a guy on an offshore oil rig walk up and down stairs and invented the alternating tread stair. And the Laitram Machine Shop is a support organization where they do all of the machining for all the divisions. There's an idea that we can continually get better, we can continually challenge ourselves, and we continually make the business better and then to make our lives better.
You know, if you think about today and compare it to 10 years ago, I mean, the world is moving so much faster. There's so much more competition. Information moves so quickly. Technology develops so fast. So there's an imperative to improve, right, that's there. And it's not enough to say, well, we're just going to improve. You have to improve faster than others improve.
LCI, Laitram Continuous Improvement, is just the name we give to our business philosophy, which starts with continuous improvement.
Each individual has some potential, that thing that they like to do and that they're good at. And if you can find that intersection, that's where the magic happens. And I think that's the core of our culture and our philosophy. We know that we're going to make mistakes, and there's a camaraderie around that of, okay, let's fix it. being entrepreneurial requires a certain amount of risk-taking by definition. You know, we're trying to put a new product into the market. We're trying to invent something. We're trying to pioneer an idea.
We're not competing with other companies. We're really competing with ourselves. We're challenging ourselves every day to be the best we can be by inspiring each other, setting an example, doing great work. We learn not just from the concepts, but we learn from seeing people living these ideas in action, and that's the inspiring part for me and the aspirational part for all of us.
All right. I just realized, John, are you in that video?
Yeah, I didn't know that when I saw myself. I was a little surprised. But yeah, I guess I am.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. So here are just some facts and figures for you guys about the company. So we do have 4 operating divisions, as you have seen in that video. And so really all 4 of them stemmed from that initial idea of the shrimp processing machine. So the modular plastic conveyor belting is really our largest division. So Intralox is our largest division. That makes the most money for the company, and it really was started because of the seafood and shrimp processing. We currently are at 3,000 employees worldwide. In the United States, we actually hired 1,000 people this year, so growing really rapidly. A lot of growth going on, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We are headquartered out of New Orleans, so that is our global headquarters. Of maybe like 20 years ago, we switched to a direct business model. So we work directly with our customers, and we find that that makes us better because we are learning straight from the customer what their challenges are, what we can help them with, instead of kind of going through a middleman for that. So we've been really successful using that business model and building those relationships with our customers. We have over 1,300 worldwide patents that are currently active. We average about 20 patents per year, and we do have 2 patent attorneys on staff that help defend our patents, which is really important in that space. And then finally, we have been named one of the best places to work in the New Orleans area, and even our Baltimore office was recognized for that as well by NOLA.com, Times Picayune, and a few others. So that just really is a testament to our company and our values. And then just to show you kind of what our world or our global presence looks like. So we have over 10 different locations that, they're either assembly or production facilities, sales centers, things like that. This kind of just gives you a breakdown by division and then by country as well. So we're really spread out like this so that we can best service our customers. We have some pretty strong guarantees on our belting. Some of our belts actually have a guarantee that we can get it out to a customer within 4 hours. So assembled and shipped within those 4 hours. And we have a few others that are strong like that, which is why we have the multiple locations. So we're able to best support in different countries and different areas. And then this shows you kind of our customers that we support from an Intralox standpoint. And so, like I was saying, during COVID, thankfully, we did really well because these are the industries that we are supporting. So we are really big in the food industry. So really anything from like croissants, cookies, meat, poultry, and seafood, fruit and vegetables, any kind of food that needs to be processed is more than likely going to use an Intralox belt. Another huge, division of our customer of ours is logistics and material handling. So if you think like Amazon, FedEx, USPS, any kind of parcel handling, in their warehouse and distribution centers, they are going to be using Intralox belting. So obviously Amazon is huge right now, and even with the pandemic has gotten even bigger. Getting on-time shipping and getting those packages out to you is even more important than it was before. So we've seen a lot of growth in that industry over the past couple of years. And then finally, we also do industrial, so like tire and automotive, packaging, anything like that. We also are a big part of. John, do you have anything to add here?
No, you covered it pretty well.
Awesome. And then I may ask you to take this one, John, because you could probably speak a little bit more eloquently than I can about the different applications that we have.
Sure. Yeah. So, the primary thing that started Interlocks Laitram was the shrimp peeler machine, and that is what led to the modular plastic belting. And for a long time, that's been mostly what we've delved in. And so this is basically, you could think of belts that are kind of like Lego bricks, and you can make them to any width and size, and then they come in all kind of different shapes, colors, materials for whatever the application requires. But then we're also in several other applications, some of them newer than others. Spiral solutions. So these are really long belts. Think like on the order of like a mile long at a short, small footprint. So these are really good for, like freezing applications or proofing applications, things where, you need a lot of time and you need the product to be there in a certain environment, so forth. Then we have Packer to Pilotizer. And so this is just a space where we are focusing on packaging the products and putting them in, having them in the cartons, arranging them in certain ways using some of our technology, all the way up until the palletizer, so where they actually get palletized, put on a pallet so that they can be transported from one plant to the other. And then the activated roller belt technology. This is kind of like a magic technology, if you will. If you ever see this in action, you go to our YouTube, you can find videos of this stuff, but it's really cool technology that was invented. And it basically allows us to move and work with the packages on the belt while the belt is running. And so we can move the packages around, we can turn them, we can do all kinds of things. And that really enables a lot of the stuff in the packer to palletizer space. And then finally, recently, food safety has just become a big concern for all kinds of different companies in the food space. There's, with social media, with all these things, there's an elevated concern of making sure that everything is safe. And so we've got a product line that is specifically tailored to being the safest, cleanest, most hygienic products that can convey for the food industry specifically. So we've got a product called Thermodrive, and then we also have some of our modular belts that are really hygienic. And that's what that area focuses on. Is that good, Gabby?
Perfect. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about our culture here at Laitram. And this is something that we work really hard to cultivate. And, I think if you were to ask anyone at Interlocks or Laitram what their favorite part about working here, 9 out of 10 people are either going to say the culture or the people. So this is stuff that we really look for, as a recruiter. This is things that I am looking for on the front end, when I'm initially talking to a candidate to ensure that they are in line with what our culture is. And so just a few key elements that I want to touch on today is our commitment to continuous improvement. So as you saw in that video, if you look at our website, you will see this everywhere. So we are really committed to continuously improving our products as well as ourselves. So, like Edel, who is our Interlocks president, had said, we're always trying to stay one step ahead of the competition because we need to be doing the cutting edge technology. We need to be the most innovative, company within what we do. Like I said before, so focus on the customer is really important to us. And, that says a lot, like through our direct sales business model. And we have top-notch customer service. Like I said, strong guarantees. When you call in to our customer service line, you are going to be on the phone with one of our representatives within 3 rings who actually is in your industry. So if you are in the food industry, you are going to get a customer service representative who is specifically in the food industry. So out of New Orleans, we, from a customer service standpoint, we service all of North and South America. But worldwide, I think we have like over 18 different languages that we support. So you're speaking with someone in your native tongue. So it's a really impressive group that we have supporting our customers. We define productivity as either increasing customer value or reducing costs. And then finally, the power of ideas is really how we got our start. From the shrimp peeling to where we are today, I think we are almost at $1 billion, if not this year, then next year. So just a really exciting time to be with the company, since we are constantly innovating and constantly having those different ideas and having that collaboration and teamwork. We are able to really stay ahead of the game and have all this cutting edge technology. All right, so this is a little diagram that we like to use in recruitment and also as you are kind of developing your career here at Laitram. So we take what you're good at. So what are you passionate about? What gets you excited to come into work? So that's the light blue circle, this kind of middle shade blue. What do you like to do? Sorry, I split those up. So what do you like to do is what you're passionate about. What you're good at is really your strengths and what you are strong in. And then this last circle is where you can add value. And so basically that's based upon business need. What do we need? Do we need business development? Do we need more sales? And then we kind of take that star is where the magic happens. And that is where all of these things intersect. And that's where you are going to be at your highest and best use. And, using this, it really, it keeps you introspective to see like, okay, am I doing what I like to do? Am I doing what I'm good at? And am I bringing value to the company? And then I'm going to turn it over to John so he can tell you a little bit more about his career progression here and how he's used that.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's a great spot to segue because this highest and best use of each individual and what you love to do. It's something that I've really liked about Intralock. So I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But first, as I said, Johnny St. Germain, I graduated from Tulane in 2014 in engineering physics. So I interned with Intralocks in my junior, I guess my junior to senior summer. So I guess that was the summer of 2013. And so I did an internship. Intralocks has an internship program. It's pretty well structured. You get to come in, you join a team. In my case, I joined the food team and new product engineering. And so I was working with other engineers who were developing products, and I was helping them test new products that they were working on, analyze stuff. But then all along the way through the internship program, I was learning about other parts of the business, got exposure and got to meet a lot of great people. And what Gabby was saying earlier about, if you ask 9 out of 10 people what they love most about Intralocks, it's definitely the people. I completely agree with that. The internship experience that I had was just so good because of the people. Whenever I went to school for engineering, I never thought that I'd end up doing engineering on conveyor belts. I don't think anybody really thinks that, but there's a lot that goes into it, but the people is definitely what makes me want to stay. So I did that internship throughout the summer. And then at the end of the summer, my boss at the time, asked me if I was interested to stay part-time through the school year. So during my senior year at Tulane, I stayed on part-time with the food team. And after the first semester, my boss then, he basically offered me a full-time job pending my graduation. So my motivation for my last semester of my senior year definitely went down because I wasn't as worried about finding a job, but it was great. So I stayed part-time through my senior year, second semester. And then, in the summer of 2014, I started. And so in June, I started as a design engineer, and Gabby, you can go to the next slide now. I started as a design engineer, and I was in the food industry. So, it was one of those main industry teams that we talked about earlier. And specifically for me, I was focused on fruit and vegetable. So you can see some potatoes there. This was like my big first project. I worked on this for actually quite some time, a couple of years. It started in my internship, and then it finished a couple of years later when I was in full time. And I developed and released a new product. It's called Series 1750. You can go look on our website, find it in our engineering manual. This is something that I came out of school and then came to Interlocks, developed, tested, designed, released, and I got to experience the whole process. Got to work with the business to understand the needs, got to go to customer sites and travel to various areas to understand what they needed. And really the whole thing was just super, super cool. I loved it, doing the new product stuff. And along the way, I also worked on several other new products. And I happily say some of those patents that are currently active have my name on them. So it's been really cool to be a part of that. And I couldn't talk more highly about it. So I did that until 2018. And something along the way that I realized that I was really good at, going back to that 3 circles conversation, was that I was really good at the analysis piece. So I liked doing the design, but I really liked running the numbers. I liked looking at the engineering stresses and all of that inside of the products. And so we actually have a team at Interlocks that specializes in that. And so I started to discuss with that team and my current boss. And I made a switch in 2018 to move teams to this other internal team where I was basically helping other engineers in the new product development department run their analyses. And so, that ended up being a really good fit. And then in doing that, I started to work with another part of our company, which is called the Digital Solutions Department. They had a piece of software that they were developing internally that basically helped engineers create analyses about their products. And I obviously was really good at that, and it was something I really loved to do. And for the longest time, I've always loved software. I've always loved tech. And so this was something that, I was very interested in. And from a business perspective, we really needed somebody from the business to help drive where that software went in terms of how it was designed and released. And so I stepped in as the product owner, and I'm still serving that role. And so a product owner is basically just somebody that works with the software team that helps them understand what the business needs in terms of the software. So I work with the business to understand, what problems they're trying to solve, what issues they may have, what they would like the software to achieve. And then I work with the development team to make it happen, basically. And so you can go to the next slide, Gabby. And so through that, with that team, we have developed and released a software product called Interlocks Calc Lab. And this is available to our customers. It's been released for 2 years. We have thousands of external customers using this and relying on this. And basically what it is it lets our customers figure out which belt is right for their various applications, as well as calculate a whole bunch of other things. So, this definitely fit into what I was interested in, what I was good at, and what the business needed. And then since then, on top of that, another business need has come up in the software world where, as engineers, we use various different types of software, whether it's CalcLab, our internal software, or it's things like CAD packages like SolidWorks or Creo or you name it. So for the engineering department, I now serve a role that's called business lead, which is basically a role to represent the department from an engineering perspective with our digital solutions IT department. So, it's a very similar role to the Calc Lab role, where I'm basically working with the business to understand what the needs are, and then I'm helping the digital solutions department as a whole, take that list, make sure it's prioritized, and work with them to make sure that what we need gets done. So, that again was just something that I'm really interested in. I get to work across departments. I get to interact with people. I'm in a more of a leadership type role, all of things that were really interesting to me. And it all started with me coming out of school with a engineering physics degree, which I could have went the route of just doing design engineering or mechanical engineering, but what I love, what I'm good at, and what the business needed took me this other sort of career route. And I just think it's a really good example of that. So yeah, if you have any questions about what I thought of tooling, or how I felt tooling prepared me for interlocks, or anything about interlocks, I'm sure if you ask Sarah or Nicole, you can get my email address. You can send anything to me. I'd be happy to answer. So
Awesome. Thanks, John. All right. And so now I'll kind of talk about what we look for in candidates, and how to be considered for a position with us. So um, as you can tell, we are doing a ton of hiring, a ton of growth going on right now. So when people ask what we're hiring for, we are hiring for really everything. So we're very heavily engineering focused. We are always looking for mechanical engineers, industrial engineers, engineering technicians, always a need for us. And then business, we have a large marketing group, sales, customer service, business development, accounting, finance, really everything in the business realm. We are going to be needing out of our New Orleans office. So it is going to be a local opportunity. And then our IT team, kind of IT and HR, as the company is growing and as we're adding all these new hires, it's just kind of the natural progression that we're hiring a lot of IT people and a lot of HR people as well. So definitely have a broad variety of different opportunities here. And so just some things that we look for in candidates. So we're looking for people who are strong communicators, who are self-managed. Self-management is a really large part of our culture because our organization is very flat. So there's not a whole lot of levels to management here. So you are really expected to own your own work. Like we mentioned previously, collaboration, teamwork is a really big part of our culture, and definitely an important skill to have. Are you curious? Are you asking good questions? Is always something that we look for. And then throughout the whole company, we are looking for hands-on people. We really like people who are ready to dig into anything and really up for any challenge. And then how can you be considered? So, or what is our hiring process like? So all of our positions are posted on our website. So it's jobs.laitram.com. We also have a jobs.interlocks.com, but all of those positions are also going to be posted on this website as well. So you can go on to there, put in your application, or if you don't see a position that is the right fit for you at that moment, we also have a talent community you can join, which is going to be on this link as well. So you can just go in there, upload your resume, and answer a few questions. That way you'll be in our applicant tracking system. And then from there, so once you apply for a job, if you are, if the recruiter is interested in moving forward with you, we would do either a phone or video screening with you. And, that's really a screening for culture. So what, some of the things that were on the last slide, that's really what we are looking for in that initial screening, as well as ensuring that you have the skills to do whatever job it is. And then from there, we have a multi-stage interview process. Our interview process can be quite lengthy, and that is really to ensure that it's a good fit, not only for us, but for our candidates as well. So we want to ensure that you are completely clear on what the job is, and that it's going to be a good fit for you, as well as a good fit for us. So that's kind of what this process looks like. And then from there, offer all of that good stuff as well. And that is really all we have for you guys. So any questions, y'all can either, ask me now or email me. My email is right there, and I'm sure Nicole can share that with you guys as well.
Thanks
I
so
will
much,
go ahead
Gabby.
and yeah.
Thanks, Dawn. That was really great, really helpful. So much information about Laitram. I feel like I've learned so much. Thank you so much. And we hope that everyone will join us for another session of Professional Development Series soon. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks.